What is up, YouTube? This is Jay here, and this is just a kind of a rant about just one of the biggest issues of Enlisted, in my opinion, and that issue with Enlisted is the premium squads you can buy for money. Now, I want to point things out. I don't buy premium squads, but I do not judge if you do. I do not care if you buy a premium squad. If you buy a premium squad, fair enough. There's a couple of premium squads here which I would actually genuinely consider getting, but the problem is that these squads are actually few and far between. The only good deals for squads I would actually consider are the BAR squads, because both the Polish Browning squad for the Axis and the M1918 squad comes together in a bundle, and also the Panzer IIIM, because that's pretty much just another Panzer III, and Panzer IIIs, in my opinion, are actually one of the best tanks in the game, and I'd say those are actually kind of worth grabbing. Everything else, on the other hand, no, especially for Normandy. I know that Berlin actually does have a pretty good squad to grab, which is the PPS, which is the PPD-40. The PPD-40 squad in Berlin is really good, but the other squads here, especially the Normandy squads, are rubbish. So, I've already said they're good. The BAR squads. Now, these are both good for the exact same reason. The BAR squads are squads of 4 men with 4 BAR. Now, the reason they're so good is that a normal maxed out machine gun squad only has a maximum of 3 guns, like this squad, for example, which has 3 BAR. These squads have 4, and they're pretty good level. So pretty much you're guaranteed some pretty good. So also, this squad has a really good camo, which I don't think is in any other squad, which I absolutely love. I've already said the Panzer III is a pretty good. It's a pretty good one to grab as well, and those are the only good ones to grab. Obviously, I cannot say about the BF-109G6 or the P-51C10 because I don't use planes, but the other squads either go from okay to bad. The top the okay one, and that is this one, the Chaffee. The Chaffee is fine, I guess. It's an okay option if you want it, and if you can get it before the Sherman, that's fair. But as the you've got the M8 and the Stuart, which are both not that good. The M8's an okay one, but the Stuart is pretty shit compared to, say, the Puma or the Panzer III. The M24 is an okay. It's okay. It's not extremely good. Like, it won't be a tank that you want to. I wouldn't be prioritizing grabbing. But I mean, if you've got the money and you want it, it's an okay tank. But the other options for the other squads are actually worthless. Let's start with, in my opinion, the worst one. The engineer squads. The engineer squads are worthless, but it doesn't matter what faction it is, if it's the Allies or the Axis. The only thing which is decent about them is they've got unique rifles with the Gewehr 41 and the Johnson. But even then, both sides have really good, viable semi-automatic rifles with the M1 Galant here, and for the Axis, the Gewehr 43. And later the FG-42s. So it makes these just worthless to get, because you would pretty much just get better options much later in the Tetris. The only problem is that they're actually Engineer 1s, not Engineer 2s. So they'll be using this squad tree for them instead of this one. Now, you might be thinking, what's the difference? Well, the Engineer 2s have this, meaning that it's actively worse to go for this. The only real benefit, of course, being the bonus, but it's actually worse to go for them over the engineer squad, because the engineer squad is just so much better. It's actively worse than a squad you get just progressing through the game. The engineers aren't the only ones that are gutted by this. The squad for the assaulters, which are the M3 field modification squad and the MP18 squad, are also terrible. The M3 field modification is just the M3, only, well, let me just put it this way. This is the M3. It's received at level 1. This is the M3A1. It's received at level 9. To put it bluntly, you get much better options. Not even earlier. Around the same time, when you get the game, you get access to similar options. The MP18, again, there's so many. Look at all of this. Look at how many SMGs the Axis have. 7 SMGs, and all of these are really powerful SMGs. The only comparable one is the MP34, which even then, really, would you want to get this over just a weapon you get at level 1? Like, the MP40, much better. The Beretta, much better. The Beretta, much better. The ZK383. I don't know, I actually do not see this weapon much, but by the looks of things, it's much better. And it's because the Axis are just overstuffed with SMGs, unlike the Allies, which with the Allies, you can actually say, there's a reason to grab this field modification squad because, well, you don't get many good assault weapons until you get the STEM, since the M3 is pretty bad, the Winchester is pretty bad, and the M3A1 is questionable at best. And it's when you get to that, it just blows the field modification out the water. I've actively only seen the field modification used once. I've never seen the Johnson squad used other than, I think, in a Quadro video, where he was showing out the squads. I've never seen an MP18 either. I don't think I've ever seen the MP18 ever used. Like, Polish Brat, compare this squad, which is completely obsolete by level 4, to the Polish BAR squad, which I see. I will guarantee in every 3 matches I will find at least one person running the Polish BAR squad. I mean, the reason why these are so good is because they're something different and they're actually an upgrade over the Gunner squad, which I actually haven't watched yet. Sad. But the reason why you see the BAR squads is that they're actually upgrades over the machine gunners in the regular tree, because you can carry more of them, and the BAR is still a pretty potent weapon. The starter pack is kind of a bit bad as well, but you can kind of see where this one's coming from. 3 days of premium, 300 gold, and 4 assaulters, albeit at tier 1 for each nation. I would say that this is actually better value than this. Because with this one, at least with this one, you're guaranteeing, because in Moscow, when you actually do get the assault troopers, you can actually throw in another assault trooper straight off the bat, meaning if you buy this immediately, you can already arm up the assault troopers, which is a really good option in my opinion. And so if you're new to the game, this could actually be generally worthwhile, but if you are new to Enlisted, word of advice, don't buy any of these squads. The only one I would recommend is the BAR, but I think the problem with this one is it's really expensive. I'm just going to toss one up on the screen how expensive this thing is. What I'm saying, I think the thing I'm coming to the conclusion is don't buy any of these squads. In my opinion, they are quite worthless, especially stuff like the M3. The engineer one is completely pointless, and really, if you do buy them, fair on you, but if you don't, then, well, it's not going to change it. Anyway, so that's the end of this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next